Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to do a few problems where they're asking you to increase a number by a certain percentage, okay? So the first example here says 12 increased by 25%. Okay, so first thing that we have to do is we have to figure out what 25% of 12 is, okay? If you guys remember back to the other lesson that we've had, it said if I'm trying to figure out, sorry, let me erase this. If I'm trying to figure out 25% of 12 we talked about that keyword already, it means to multiply, right? So first thing I have to do, I've got to change this into a decimal, okay? So if I move the decimal place over twice, it's going to be 0.25. We already know means to multiply, and we're going to multiply by 12. Okay, so I'm going to grab my calculator. We're going to multiply this out. So 0.25 times 12, we get 3. Okay, so once we get our answer, okay, the problem said 12 increased by 25%. The only thing that I found out is that 25% of 12 is 3, but I have to increase 12 by my answer, by that number, okay? So after I get my answer, which was 3, I have to add 12 plus 3, and I get 15. Okay, so in other words, 12 increased by 25% is going to be 15. Okay, so that's the answer for this one. Now, let me give you a different example, okay? So let's say it's saying 16 decreased this time by 75%. Okay, so first thing I got to do, I have to figure out 75% of 16. I got to figure out what that is, okay? So 75% of 16. I don't know what that is. I got to figure this out. So first things first, I have to change my percent into a decimal. So it's going to be 0.75 once I move it over twice, 0.75. We've talked about that. Of means to multiply. That's one of the keywords that we talked about in the previous section. So times, and then my number here, so 16. I got to figure out what this is going to give me. So grab your calculators. We're going to do 0.75 times 16. Plug that in, I get 12. Okay. Now, that's not my answer. This one is telling me decreased. Okay, unlike the other one where I was doing an increase, right? Unlike this one where I had to add 3 at the end, this one's a decrease problem. So I have to start with the 16, but I'm decreasing, so I'm subtracting the answer that I got, which was 12. So if I subtract these two, my answer is 4. So in other words, 16 decreased by 75% would be 4. Okay, so that would be the answer. So these were the 2 examples that I went over. If you want to jot these down in your notes, feel free.